Boop. Boop. Alright. Oh boy. Hello everybody, how is it going? It's good to see you all. We are going to be playing some Twitch SMP today. And for those of you who have been here for a little bit, you'll know that this is the place that we dig. We dig some more, and we dig a little bit more. So, yeah, today we're gonna be digging. If you couldn't guess, it's gonna be one of the first of the last big dig streams as well. So that's kind of cool, you know. That's exciting. It's been a lot of digging. Maybe possibly near the end of the digging, but I'm not gonna like hold my breath on that exactly. The hope is that it's near the end. The hope is that it's near the end. That's all I can say. Alright, Alrighty. Hello, everybody. Diggy hole, indeed. How's it going? Rowan, welcome on in. It's good to see you. New username. GG's. Admiral, congrats on grabbing first. Thank you for submitting your taxes. Appreciate it. Coral, I need to fix my camera. Go with that. Coral, thank you for submitting your taxes. Zender, Rowan, and yes, appreciate you all. Seriously, thank you so much. Hope you're all doing well. It's good to see you. Ohana, hello. Welcome. Diggy hole. He is a reg and he is digging a hole. Diggy hole, digging a hole. Is desk fixed? Yes, I fixed the desk. I say my dad helped me greatly, okay? So I can actually tell you guys what happened now. So my dad came up here and he was looking at it. He was confused because like the place that it attaches to. So the motor, I'm trying to figure out a good way to explain this to somebody who may not know how this system works. So a motor hooks up to this rod, right? The rod turns because the motor tells it to. The problem was this rod that sticks through the motor is supposed to connect to another rod. However, there was like this much rod to connect to, and it was really supposed to be about this much rod to connect to. We couldn't figure out where all that rod went. It turns out on both sides of my desk, the rod poked out about this much. Why, we don't know. The only thing we can think of is the fact that when the desk collapsed in on itself, those rods shot outwards to do something. I don't know if it was an intentional failsafe, but we noticed that my desk was bowed a little weirdly. So we think that's what it did. We're not entirely sure why, but it's working now. We shoved everything back into place, and it's kind of working now. I'm not gonna move it probably like ever again, just because I am scared that it will crumble again on me, and I really don't want to break my knees. But you know, we're chilling. I've got some coffee too. Been a long day. Let's see. I'm sick. I'm sorry to hear that, Swifty. Welcome on in. It's good to see you. Hope you're doing well, dude. Didn't mean to press yes on my username. Now I'm here for 55 more days. Oh no. It's okay. It's alright. It happens. JJ Brown, welcome on in on the YouTube side. It's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Motor spin rod, which turned, and then that rod attached that moved desk up and down. Yes, that is what happens. If it's working properly, which now it is. We're still not entirely sure why it did what it did. We just know it did that. Thankfully, it's fixed. That's all I know. That's all we know. Apparently I have a 101 fever, which isn't great. Oof. I'm sorry to hear that, dude. I hope you feel better soon. Be sure to stay on top of the fluids. Lots and lots of water. I know you don't need me to tell you that, but I'm gonna tell you it anyway, because That's the best way to fight off a fever, really. That and maybe some ibuprofen. I usually try not to take a lot of meds, because I just really don't like meds. I don't like being on them. I like my body to be able to fight off anything naturally if it can. But ibuprofen has, like, it might be my favorite medicine right now. I'm not gonna lie. It gets me through my old age. We're gonna feed the cows. We need more beef. Let's see. I'm playing Dreamlight Valley and leveling up my characters on there, and I will not buy any more DLCs until I complete the other two. There's a new DLC coming out, and I'm working hard to finish it. That's fair. That is completely fair. I respect it. I try to do something similar. I try not to buy a lot of games, especially if I have like a lot of games in my backlog. Like right now, I really have no need to buy another game unless it's on sale, because I have like 40 unplayed games in my library right now. I need to play them all before I buy more. Even though, like, it would be nice to have more. Also, I need to do /live. There we go. I want you. And I want to put away all that. I did do a little bit of off-camera work. Not a ton, though. A little bit of digging. I think... Yeah, I did a little bit of sand digging, I want to say. And then, that was really it. I've been really busy the last couple of weeks, so I haven't been able to do as much as I'd like to, but I'm going to take you guys over there so we can take a look and see what we've got to do. So, we've got that side, which is fully done. We got that side, which is fully done, and that side, which is fully done. There's this side right here, which I haven't quite decided how far down we want to go. So we could just go down however far I want and call it done. Or we could kind of go with the original plan, which is first showing of Deep Slate, which would be around this layer. I haven't quite decided where I want it to go. It just kind of depends. Because I know we have at least until around about the end of December for this season to last. And I would really prefer to, you know, in my personal opinion, I would really like to finish the base before the end of the year. So I'm really debating on what that's going to have to look like. You know, we may just say this one's going to not be as high-rise apartment kind of feel, and maybe we stop at this layer, you know. With today being the last day of September and also being the last day of what I wanted the digs to take, we're now in overtime on the digging, which means, you know, I gotta kind of lock in, because we still gotta put in a mega dome over top of all this, which, if you guys haven't seen it, there's the mega dome. There will be glass on the top. I just didn't get it in the schematic. So that's still gotta happen. That's gonna take me a long time. Then you gotta still consider the fact that we gotta fill in all the buildings. We gotta make the whole look pretty. We got a lot to do in, like, 3 months. So I'm starting to get a little worried, to say the least. I am definitely starting to get a little worried. But drinking hurts because my throat hurts. Better drink some water then. Yeah, definitely sip on some water. Don't like chug, because that's not gonna do you much good anyway. But sipping on some water here and there, maybe like a couple of sips. Try to drink like what is the recommended amount per hour? I can't even remember. It's not 1 cup per hour, but with the amount of fluids that you're losing because you're in a fever, you may want to drink a little bit more water than average. But if you can get yourself through it, you will thank yourself later. Hello, K&K. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. Yes, you can ask me as many questions as you'd like. I can't take ibuprofen anymore. I'm on arthritis medication and can't take ibuprofen since then. Oh, I didn't even realize that was something that would interfere with that, but it makes sense. Depending on how your arthritis is caused, especially. There's several different types, but yeah, I mean, the way ibuprofen works is it's for inflammation, so yeah, you wouldn't want to take those together now I think about that. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Never even crossed my mind. I really hope I don't have to take arthritis medications. I'm gonna be seeing a rheumatologist at some point if I can get the referral to go through. They still haven't called me, so I'm starting to think that maybe they weren't able to accept my referral for whatever reason. So that is gonna delay the appointment a little bit, but I'm a little bit... Hey. I'm a little bit hesitant to say I will definitely get to go see a rheumatologist, but it's pretty much all but confirmed. I mean, I'm going to be seeing the geneticist, and then he's going to say, hey, did you go see the rheumatology like I said? And then I'm going to tell him no, because they wouldn't let me go see them. And then he'll say, I'll get you in. He can... Usually... they're able to get you into places because they can say, yeah, no, I specifically requested this. Why'd you tell them no? It's a whole load of garbage. The medical system is, at times. At times, it's really, really bad. At other times, it's good. I don't like dogging on it necessarily a ton because everybody has issues with it, and mine are so minute. Like, I'm in a little bit of pain. I can tolerate it. I've been tolerating it my entire life. I just found out it's not normal. The other problem to it, though, is now, like, you know, there are other people who have it way worse than me. And so, like, I try to acknowledge that as a fact of, like, you know, they're probably being seen rather than me. And I'm okay with that, you know? There's a lot of people who really, really do need doctors more than me. So even though, like, I'm upset that I'm not getting seen immediately, it's like, why didn't I just go be a doctor? You know, if I'm going to complain about it, the issue for me right now where I live is doctor shortages in those professions and in those specific fields. So unless I'm willing to go to school and be a doctor, which I don't want to do, I think I'm chilling. I think I'm okay waiting. Complaining does us no good if there's no solution involved. Anyway, all that said, I want to keep reading chat. Drinking water right after eating a mint. That would also be a good idea, yeah. Yeah, if you have, like, some gum, or if you have a mint handy, either of those two, that will help soothe your throat a little bit. And then you can drink some water as well. Honey tea is also another great option. Honey does wonders for your throat. So if you can, that's also a great option. There are certain medications as well that help with throat sores. Or sore throats, sorry. Throat sores are different than sore throats. It's kind of interesting how that works, isn't it? But yeah, that's my advice. I got Brisk, not sponsored. Brisk is good. We like Brisk. Do you know the best way to get gravel in Legacy Edition? You know, I used to play Legacy Edition all the time, but I don't really remember all the options you have available to yourself there. Because you don't have piglins, so you can't barter. And you don't have infinite worlds, so Your best bet, in all honesty, might be if your world is old enough, you'll have plenty of gravel at the bottom of the oceans. Even if it is on the newest version of Legacy Edition, there still are gravel oceans, but they're not always everywhere. So there is that as an option. You could also go to an extreme hills biome if you have that in your world. Those would probably be my best 2 ways to recommend it. Otherwise, yeah, you're gonna have to just dig and hope you find patches of it. Use Silk Touch on the gravel so it doesn't turn into flint. That way you don't have to worry about losing any gravel. Because I'm so used to using Silk Touch on my shovels anyway. It threw me off when I used a shovel on gravel for the first time without Silk Touch in forever. Like, it was a couple days ago, and I got like 6 or 7 pieces of gravel, or 6 or 7 pieces of flint within one gravel patch, and I was like, what is this? I don't even need flint. One of my least useful blocks. I was going to an eye doctor, but didn't because my mother canceled it. That's fair. My insurance apparently canceled my eye coverage, and we didn't know. So that was fun. We got to the eye appointment after my mom drugged me all the way out there. Yeah, it's hard to get me out of the house, guys. I don't like just throwing around the term workaholic, because I think it's a very serious issue, and we don't take it seriously enough, especially here in the US. You know, it's all about working, but I am a little bit of a workaholic at some extent. And I don't like leaving the house. So for my mom to get me out of the house is a little bit of a process. Like, she has to tell me, and I'll respect whatever my mom tells me to do or say. You know, like, whatever she says goes. I respect her enough to do that. That all said, I'm extremely disappointed when I'm told that I'm going to go do something, so I clear out my entire schedule to go do it. And then I get home because we find out that we weren't actually going to do that. And it's like, it wasn't her fault in this case. But my whole day gets flipped on its head because it's like, okay, well, I'm going to do this. It's like, well, that really requires some scheduling in advance. So, like, that can't happen today. And then I can't do this. I canceled my stream already, so there's no point in me, like, uncanceling the stream. I might as well work on a video, or do this, or do that. It takes me so much decision-making. I hate doing that. That's why I try to plan everything, like, the day before on what I'm wanting to do. There we go. Because I really just like having my day planned out in advance. I don't know, I'm weird like that. Hello, Scrap, welcome on in. Hope you're doing well, dude. Enderman Goat Aaron, welcome in. I do want to know something crazy. Do tell, do tell. My world started on 1.12. Okay, I gotcha. So yeah, you should have still some gravelly oceans. That's a great way to get some of the gravel there. And then there should still be extreme hills dotted around as well. Crazy. Crazy. I was crazy once. Maybe not 1.12, but title update 12. Oh, okay, I see. I'm not familiar with exactly how the terrain generation looked back then. That would have been a little bit different than even what I'm used to. Even though I did play back in title update 12. I don't recall exactly how it looked. Because we didn't really have massive oceans. If I remember correctly, I don't even know if we had any oceans in Title Update 12. Like, outside of some... Yeah, outside of, like, the world border being the ocean, I don't think we really had any oceans in Title Update 12, did we? Oh, no. Oop. I accidentally tabbed out. I need to turn on Windows lock. There we go. That's better. Ah, I missed one. There we go. I was playing in a server and an e-girl scammed me. Oh no, you fell for it. No, dude. I thankfully can say I've never been scammed by an e-girl. My mom and dad... This is not a diss on you, by the way, okay? I just remembered something from my childhood. My mom and dad were very, very... It was really interesting. The things that they were worried about on the internet were probably the things that were the least of their concerns, really. But they were really concerned about, like, me talking to people online and getting scammed by them, which they should have been. So, like, they taught me, don't trust anybody. Anyone that's pretending to be anyone that's a girl online is probably a guy. They're probably pretending to be a guy so that they can kidnap you. Okay, that's fine. But they never really understood just how bad the content on the internet was when I got on there. This was back in YouTube when it wasn't uncommon to get... Well, it wasn't common, but it wasn't, like, super, super rare to find videos of beheadings from terrorist organizations. Like... I find some irony in that, because, like, I was just an 8-year-old kid. But at the same time, I kind of get it a little bit to some degree. I don't know. I guess they figured mental scarring is better than just being straight up abducted. So that's, you know... I'm at least glad that they did care enough to not let me get abducted, but I do kind of wonder why I didn't get a better warning of what I was gonna see. And I do know sometimes whenever... It's not super common that I go and see IRL friend or online friends IRL. But I have done it a couple of times. And, my parents, every time I do it, they're always like, well, have you met these people in real life before? I'm like, no. And they're like, well, how do you know that they are who they say they are? It's like, I don't. Other than the fact that I've known them for 1, 2, 3 years. And that I've seen their faces when nobody else has. And... I know where they live, and they sent me Christmas gifts one year. They're like, well, how do you know, like, they're not, like, grooming? I'm like, Mom, excuse me, I am an adult. She's like, well, that can happen to adults, too. I'm like, Mom, no, Mom. I deserve to be kidnapped if they had me hooked and synced for 3 years. Like, I know where they live. Ominous hello. I mean, to be fair, some of them didn't ask me to find where they lived. Some of them told me. Some of them, I was like, hey, I think I can find where you live because you're very careless with your information. And I did. I found exactly where they were sitting, just about. I found which side of the apartment complex they were sitting on, at least. Gotta respect the hustle. Exactly. Everyone knows that having the skills to stalk people are the best skills to have. I'm your dad. That's news to me. I got taught that everyone was 3 times the age they say they are. To be fair, I was 8, but I mean, to be fair, that may have been true. That may have actually been true. I mean, 3 times 8, that's what, 24? I could see it. That's a very real possibility. I know where they live. Ominous. You're back. Alright, sounds good, Zender. It's a little bit slow today. They're getting up there. It's just I'm impatient. That's fine. We now know the issue. It's me. Ba-ba-bum. Just gonna like tug some more of this really quick. Okay. I need you. Might as well repair the pickaxe so that we can get as much digging out of the way today. If we get it down to a reasonable height, and I'm kind of like digging it, no pun intended, but ended up coming out anyway, then we may declare the dig done, just because, I don't know, I really... want to be done with the digging so that we can actually focus on the build. Like, I'm actually kind of worried that we're not going to finish the build. Which has been true of, like, every SMP that I'm not in control of. It always ends before I finish the build. And in some cases, even the SMPs that I am in control of, I don't finish the build. Usually, I don't finish the build. I dream too big. I am Icarus and I fly too close to the sun. Like, it is an issue. I was 11 and gave someone my address online because I was dumb and they sent me a pack of Tylenol, so I don't know. Free Tylenol? I mean, joke's on your mom and dad, you know. I guess I got nothing to say there, but like, it worked out for you, you know? I have gotten more free stuff from my online friends than my IRL friends. I'm trying to think. Hang on. Let me go back here for a second. So I got a free jar of natural peanut butter, which was high in protein. Oh my goodness, it was so good. I got a free bag of Reese's. I got a free spoon, a hat, 9/11 memorabilia, a 9/11 shirt, Lego New York City, did I get anything else? I think I got a couple of other things that I'm not really remembering. Unreal gave me a Rubik's Cube. And he also gave me like a little arcade game. And then I've gotten various meals paid for me for free from some of my friends. Ice cream, lots of cool things like that, yeah. Now the question is, like, when does a online friend cease to be an online friend and when does it become a real life friend? And likewise, could a real-life friend become an online friend? That's the other question. Because, like, I've got a lot of people that I've met online that arguably, because we've met in person, we could technically say I've met them online, but I now know them from real life. Because I associate their name to their face, or we've spent at least a considerable enough amount of time around them that it's like I could tolerate you in real life, so clearly we could be real life friends. I don't know. I don't know where the line is there. Obviously, I guess at some point you just stop making the distinction, and that's when they become your real life friend. And that's not to diminish online friendships, I suppose, as well. Just because you know somebody online doesn't make them any less of a friend. In fact, I'd argue that makes them more of a friend, because they have a sea of billions and billions of users. And they choose you every single time. And that's actually kind of like really, really wholesome and really, really sweet if you think about that. It's kind of like online dating. Like, don't get me started on that. I hate online dating. You guys can have your own opinions on it. For me, I can't even consider it seriously for myself. That all said, and I won't judge you guys for whatever you think on it. Like, that's your own opinions. I'm perfectly okay with you guys disagreeing with me. That all said, you know, when somebody actually chooses you in online dating, it's kind of crazy because they have the freedom of choice. They can pick thousands of different people and talk to hundreds of thousands of people. And yet they sometimes just go, you know what? I like you so much that I'm going to limit myself from all those options. And, like, that's crazy. It's crazy enough in real life that happens. To be chosen in real life is awesome. But to be chosen online is actually almost more crazy. Take all those things. Okay. I do want to read your guys' chats, though, because I'm getting way off topic. Free Tylenol. We love Tylenol. I've actually never taken a Tylenol, I don't think. Surprisingly. I know what it is. It's just I've never taken it. Now, that said, my mom technically... Actually, I feel like... I don't know if we can... Can we... I don't know if this is, like, bad for me to say now, given recent news. My mom, like, almost definitely took it, when I was in her womb. So, like, in a way, I did take it, I guess. Like, I mean, if we want to use a loophole, I suppose I did take it at one point in time. It's a little bit of a cheat code way of saying I took Tylenol. Okay, anyway. I have a lot of friends from IRL locations, and now I only speak with them online now. That's so fair, and that's true of me, too. One of my childhood friends, only really ever got to hang out with him a lot when I was, like, 5 and under. So we grew up a lot in our very, very early years with each other. But then we, you know, moved away. Both of us moved away. So we were kind of spread out a little bit. I talk to him online every couple of months or so. He's a cool dude. We just never really get to talk much. You guys probably remember him. TGM, the gaming man. Some of you might remember him. He pops in every now and then. That all said, he is a childhood friend of mine. Like I said, met him. Earliest memory that I have with him is like 5 years old. So I know I knew him before that. Family friends kind of deal. We also I also have another friend. I've known him for 8, maybe 9 years. He's off at college. I moved away again, so I don't even see him when he's on summer breaks and such. But I talk to him every week over phone. He actually came and visited me back in spring, I think. Did I take that week off? I think I did. I don't remember. You guys might remember, some of you might remember me taking off in spring. If I did, it was for that, probably. I don't know. But yeah, there are a lot of people who start as in IRL people, and then it's like, oh, I'm now gonna, I'm gonna move across the country, and then we're gonna talk online only. I don't have like any friends near me that I would consider real life friends. I don't know if I have anyone near me that I would consider online friend for that matter. I know there are a couple of people that watch my streams that do live in my state. And I don't think I've ever said that to them. Some of you might remember where I live. I have since taken that information away for the most part. Like, you can find it if you really look for it. But, I've been a little more careful about that kind of stuff, if I can be, just because there's a lot of weird people out there. There's a lot of weird people. So I just try to keep that stuff secretive now. But yeah, that's a fun one. I always worry because I think I know the general town that they live in as well. And I'm not saying I frequent that town or anything, but I do kind of go in that general area sometimes to shop or to eat. Sometimes, possibly. And I do kind of wonder if one day they're going to stumble upon me there, and I don't know what to do with that thought being there. But it is a very real possibility. Anyway, I need to read chat. I need to read it. You get to know super cool things for online friends also, like cultures and things. Oh, absolutely. I have met some really, really cool people with different thought processes and different beliefs and different cultures, like you said, all over the world sort of deal. It's really, really cool meeting all sorts of people like that. Online has given me probably the widest net in terms of friendship capabilities, you know. I would have never met people that actually live in the Mountain Standard Time if it weren't for the fact that I use the internet a lot. I didn't even know that people did live in Mountain Standard Time. Like, I thought it was a made-up thing. I had been on the internet for 3, maybe 4 years before somebody finally told me that they lived there. Like, they're a very rare bunch. Now it's like, okay, I see them everywhere, but I guess it's kind of like one of those things, the more you associate with people around that, the more you're likely to run into them because of algorithms and things like that, I guess. I don't know. It's interesting. I want to make sure I'm all caught up before I start going on another rant, so I'm going to read. There's 100% difference between online dating and long-distance dating. Yes, definitely. Online dating, I would clarify that as, like, things like Tinder, Bumble, what are all the ones? Farmers Only, Christian Mingle. I'm trying to name some of the niche ones as well. Hinge is another one, isn't it? Is that the one? That might be the really hyper-specific one. But, you know, those are, like, the ultra-common, you know, online dating sites that I'm talking about. Long-distance dating where you already know the person and they live, you know... I don't know what long distance would really be considered, but I would say probably longer than 3 hours away would probably be long distance. I think that would be fair to say. Because that would be an hour-and-a-half drive for both of you if you met in the middle, or a 3-hour drive, or longer if you went the full distance yourself. So I would consider probably anything longer than 3 hours more than likely a long distance. Although that's a very subjective term. We could honestly have a really good conversation about that. I would be curious what you guys would say long distance really is. But yeah, if you're meeting somebody on an app with the intent to date them before you know them, I would call that online dating, which I don't understand. I like to know somebody as a friend before I could ever consider them as something more. I'm a little weird like that, though. Online, it's like so many people, but I want this dorkable young person. Exactly. It's really interesting being chosen online, and it hasn't escaped me how special it is to be chosen in anything, but online especially, it's just there's so many choices, and the fact that people choose to watch my streams, choose to watch my videos, choose to be my friend, choose to send messages in my Discord or in my DMs, you know, that means a lot. It does. So thank you. Thank you for choosing me, guys. I appreciate you. I take it in Advil consistently. That's fair. Fair. I have taken an Advil once or twice. I'm home. Welcome home. How's it going, Nathan? Good to see you. It's the only safe drug to take for fevers when you're pregnant. Yes, and you are absolutely correct. Fever is way worse for babies than Tylenol. It's one of those it's one of those things like how do I say this? Let me be clear. When I'm saying this, I'm not being political. I'm actually just stating a basic fact. Okay. So, there was a connection found. I haven't looked into the research a whole bunch myself. However, I do know a little bit about the situation in general. So Tylenol supposedly increases the risk of autism in unborn babies, so not yet born. By the time they're born, they may have autism if you're taking Tylenol while you're pregnant. But, like Mythically Amy said, fevers are way, way worse. So, you do something to negate the risk, and it may increase the risk on other things. So, for example, a great example of this is seatbelts in cars. You go out and you drive a car. What's safer, without a seatbelt or with a seatbelt? Well, let's just quickly consider for the fact that seatbelts have killed people before. Now, this isn't to scare you guys. It's actually safer for you to wear a seatbelt still. The chances of the seatbelt killing you instead of flying through the windshield killing you, you know, the seatbelt is still safer. It could break a couple of ribs. It may cause whiplash. It could cause some other issues. But I would rather take the 5% chance there of the seatbelt killing me instead of the car crash than the 20% or 50%, probably much higher chance of the car crash killing me. You know, you have to chop and choose and take your risks. Obviously, you guys do your own research. I'm not a doctor. You do what you gotta do. But that's the way I see that personally. You're not here normally, Emmy. Followed last night. It's good to see you, by the way, Emmy. I don't think I said that earlier. Yay for home. We love home. Home is where the heart is. That's why I have no home. One friend I met in church moved from here to Japan to learn to be a translator. That is awesome. That is a really cool thing. Japan is awesome. I'd like to go visit Japan one day. I think it would be a cool place. I met a lot of people in churches over my years. Lifelong churchgoer here. I've been 5 or 6 different places. So I've met a lot of people. And when I say 5 or 6 different places, I mean 5 or 6 different states. Like, I've moved state lines. So I've met a lot of different people and a lot of different subcultures, which is really interesting. I know where you live, slightly ominous. Did you learn Japanese from dubbed anime at first? That is awesome. That is really, really awesome. You know, I learned a little bit of Spanish from Duolingo, but the most Spanish I learned was from my bilingual friends talking in Spanish in, like, Discord VCs with me. And, like, you know, when they get, like, stressed out, they just kind of start, they just kind of start yelling in Spanish, and, like, it scares me a little bit at first, because, like, I've started to understand a lot of what they're saying. Now, a lot of it is just them swearing. It's easy to understand Spanish swears. Not hard. But it's always also interesting picking up different dialects based on where their Spanish is coming from. For example, there's a difference between Mexican Spanish and Colombian Spanish and Puerto Rican Spanish. All 3 of those are very different in their own little unique ways. It's very, very interesting. I've learned a little bit about that. I don't actively seek out Spanish anymore. I liked learning it. It was a fun little skill to pick up, and it did work a little bit. In fact, I did have to use it once or twice. At Disney. My family and I, we go to Disney World every once in a while, and occasionally when you're there, you know, well, okay, Florida isn't, like, it's not that secretive. Florida has a lot of, it's got a larger Hispanic community there, which is awesome. That all said, sometimes it's hard to communicate with other people if their English isn't great. I've luckily learned just enough that I can kind of figure out what they're saying and kind of figure out what I need to say. And if worse comes to worse and we can't figure it out, we just pull out our phones. And it's like, phones are great, okay? As much as I crap on phones, they are great as well. When I worked at Walmart, we were having an issue because we couldn't communicate effectively, and I needed to see an ID verification so that we could deposit the guy's money. But he wasn't quite understanding what I was saying, and I wasn't really understanding what he was saying, so I pulled out my phone, and we had an actual conversation, and we were able to see what we were both saying, and you know, that's what phones were made for, was to connect people. And that really bridged that gap where we were like, we need to be able to figure this out. So we did, and, you know, he was able to deposit his money, and everything was great. Okay, I need to finish reading chat. I'm sorry. I'm getting distracted. Remember me? I do remember you, Susan. Hello, it's good to see you. I was talking about Battle Rocketition last month. I do remember you, yes. Hope you're doing well. Say you were stalking them? Yeah, if you were stalking them, then it could be a considered long-distance relationship, not an online relationship. I once lived in MST. MST is an interesting place. It's a very interesting place. All Good Theater was great and Chinatown was yummy. That's awesome. Glad to hear it, Nafan. Glad to hear it. Dude, I hate seatbelts. Seatbelts are so uncomfy. But, they do save lives. They do save lives. Man. I'll tell you what. I know some places for driver's ed, they show car crash photos. And, like, they try to really drill it into your head that, like, you need to wear seatbelts. But I was just, you know, a normal web user. And so I used to get on this place called 5050, which is a subreddit. Don't look it up. Don't go on there. It's not worth your time. It's not good for your health. That all said, it wasn't uncommon to see car wreck photos there. I mean, you could see some things. A lot of the times you would see the aftermath. So you'd see the car in the background flipped over or lodged underneath a semi. And then you would see also in front of that would be like a big curtain or sheet, a white sheet, covering up what you would presume to probably be the victim of the car crash. And, you know, it wasn't a pretty puddle next to the curtain. There wasn't pretty splatters on the curtain. You know, seatbelts save lives. Now, in that specific case, I don't know if it probably would have saved it because getting your car lodged up underneath a semi isn't really safe in any regard, even with a seatbelt. But, you know, that's just the way it goes, I guess. Well. I'm just gonna, like, break all of this. There we go. Okay. Home is where the bed is. I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that. Okay. Just want to, like, get this all put on the ground really quick. Okay. Don't look it up. Proceeds to look it up. Yeah, do exactly what I told you not to do. That's a great idea. Ohana, here's your jab and your hydrate. I'm gonna drink water. That's what the hydrate is for. I've lived in a couple different time zones. I've lived in EST, CST, EST again, CST again, and then EST again. Moved a little bit, if you guys couldn't tell. If I had to guess, I'm probably in, like, the next couple of years, there's, like, a solid chance that I end up moving again. And I'm kind of hoping to just go see a completely different part of the country. I'd love to go see PST or MST. I've been to MST once. It was Arizona. I went out there, saw the Grand Canyon. I didn't have my glasses yet. So to say I saw it is kind of like a little bit deceptive. That all said, I would like to go live there for a little bit. Really pick up some of the, pick up what it's really all about out there. If I had my pick, I would be kind of leaning towards, like, Colorado. Maybe. I think it would be pretty cool. Or Texas. There's a small part of Texas that's MST. I think that would be kind of cool. I've made it no secret. I think Texas is a pretty cool place. So, you know, that is high up on the list, maybe, possibly. Is that everything? It appears so. Okay. Anywhere could be a bed if you're tired enough. Now we're talking. You guys are my kind of people, man. You guys know where it's at. Okay. So glass, 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 glass. Okay. Got room for 4 more. We can drop the cap. We don't need cap. No cap. We can put gravel in there. Okay. There we go. Up. And I need to rechat. I grew up in a small church, and I'm now at a bigger yet still small church. I've been to quite a few of those. When you say small, I am curious just how small you mean. Because I know some people who would consider, like, a church of, you know, 40 to be small. But I know they get much smaller than that. Like, we're talking 10, maybe even 20. And I mean, of course, there are churches that are, when we say big, some people would consider 70 to be huge. Some would consider, but some would also say, no, it's got to be at least 100 or more to be a larger church. You know, it's really interesting hearing other people's experiences on that. Also want to catch up here. Kind of like the difference between Scottish English, British English, American English, Canadian English, Australian English, and New Zealand English. Yes, exactly. It would be exactly like that. It's weird that at least I shouldn't say we. I can't assume everybody's like me here. It's weird that I've never considered that as a possibility for other languages, especially something as prevalent as Spanish. You know, you'd think, surely, with as large of a language as it is, it's got its own special sub-regions. But no, it never crossed my mind. Good old Walmart. Walmart was a place. It was indeed a place. Okay, Oh yeah, server's gonna restart here in a second. I should probably log off here in a second. Nope. I want this, and then I want to come down here. And I want to try to pick this up really quick, because I don't want to lose my sand. It's useful for building with concrete and such. I don't really particularly want to lose it. Take it all. Oh my gosh. I picked the worst place to put that. Okay. Server's about to restart. Like, give it maybe 5 more seconds or so. Possibly. Maybe a little bit longer than that. Okay. Okay, let that go ahead and do its thing. While it's doing that thing, I'm gonna quickly drink some more coffee. Trying to think. So today's the last day of September. We're gonna while the server's restarting and turning back on and all that. Here, I'm gonna sip on this. But while we're going over all of the while we're waiting for the server to come back online, I quickly want to just mention how messed up my goals were this month, and the fact that I didn't get all of them done. So for context, this year I've tried to be very, very intentional with everything I do. And so that includes, my goals for the year. And so I set goals every year, as any person should. I don't know if you guys set goals every year, but outside of like even just uh like okay, so outside of content, like if you do content, cool. If you don't do content though, um I don't even think you need to worry about that. I don't know. That's a whole side tangent. Um, but everybody should be setting goals for the year. What you want to do, what you want to be, um, and then every month take steps towards completing that goal. So if you want to have a book by the end of the year, let's say, so you're wanting to write a book, and that's like your top goal for the year, let's say, then you should figure out every month how to get yourself closer to finishing that book. Um, and so maybe that looks like doing some research in January and writing a basic concept of what that book might look like. And then the next month, actually putting some words down to make a very rough first draft. And then February, you go through and you polish it a little bit. And every month, you just keep going and doing more and more and more. That would be kind of like what it's looking. Okay, we're done with the coffee now. I got only water. We're good now. So, for this month, I was really trying to put the pedal to the metal because I am not anywhere near my goals. I'm really bad at this. I'm really, really bad at setting goals that are achievable, which is somewhat intentional. I always try to go like a little above what I want to do and be because I want to always have room to be better. I want to be greater, I want to I want to shoot for like a whole other galaxy and maybe still land somewhere within the Milky Way kind of deal. I'm not talking about just shooting for something that's been done before. I'm like, can we make it beyond what's been done? And so my goals this month really got messed up because my goals last month didn't go the way I wanted them to. And so we carried over a bunch of baggage, is what I call it. Basically, everything that I thought I was going to do didn't get done because King SMP had to end. I've told you guys about that. I don't want to. We may rant about that because I've got some unresolved issues there with server hosts. But like I've only gotten only one singular thing done for all of Twitch, and it was I planned my 12-hour stream. I checked it off and then promptly canceled that 12-hour stream and moved it to next month because I found out I was going to be taking care of my brother extensively this month, and I was too tired to do my 12-hour. So that was the only thing I got done for all of Twitch this month. Now, maybe after stream, I might grind out a few things because there's some smaller tasks that I could do. My Minecraft YouTube channel that I love so desperately that has had a little bit of a dead spot right now. I still love it, still going strong, still trying to do things. I got one video out that was on my list. The rest of it was all unplanned. I really did think Minecraft Live was going to be in October this year. I don't know why. So that kind of threw me off a little bit in terms of goals, but that's like an excuse. That's not even a valid excuse. So like I got 2 goals there that really should be done, like getting a backlog set up so that I have constant videos coming out and I'm working on them a month ahead. That's next month's problem now. My VOD channel, I want to finish everything there. So like finishing all the thumbnails, updating the branding. There's There's 160 thumbnails to go before that's done. I feel like I'm doing really good. That's like 1.5% of my entire stream catalog left to go. Fun fact, guys, we have done 932 streams. We're coming up on 1,000, and that's a scary thought. We'll get there when we get there. King SMP, I was supposed to start planning the next season. That's like getting delayed probably till December at this point because everything else is taking priority. Omnia, my video game that I'm working on, I've worked really hard on it, so I'm not disappointed with the effort I put in, but I'm disappointed with the results. All I did was I got one bit of marketing planning done, and that was last night because I realized that I hadn't done anything, and I was like, oh, I really need to do this. Let's do it. I spent 1 hour and just wrote down every single idea I had. We're gonna go to some conventions. I can't wait for that part of things. That's like where I thrive. I hate talking to people, but I'm a surprisingly good, like, not salesman, but hype man, I guess. If I'm in person and I'm showing off something and talking about something, I can really get people hyped up about it. So I'm like really excited for conventions and going to like PAX and Indiecade or Gamescom, or there's actually a local convention. It's not really local to me. It's a couple hours away. And I was like, oh, that would be a good one because it's actually got some big names that go to it for to be meet and greets. So I was like, that would be a cool one, especially for the audience that they pull in. It's perfect for Omnia. I was like, okay, we could look into that one. There's a cool one in Atlanta that I'd like to hit. I've already started a list of those things so that when we're 2 years down the road and I actually have a product to show off, it's on there. That was fun to do. That was really fun to do. But branding, I've spent, I think it was 30-ish hours estimated that I spent on branding, and I still haven't gotten the finalized branding done. So next month, I'm just going to target that and get it done because it needs to be done. Now, in terms of life goals, like just general life stuff, I'm doing great there. I don't know what happened, but I kicked it into gear. So like the part that really matters, technically speaking, I'm apparently a pro at, you know. I'm just really bad at the professional stuff. I am not a professional. That is what I've learned. I'm everything but a professional. Also, why did that get... It's a little too late to approve that. That's fine. Okay, the server's definitely up by now. But yeah, I'm a little bit behind on stuff. I like your shirt. Thank you. I guess this is a great time for me to be a salesman. You guys ready for this? Time to sell out. Take a note from PC Gus's book. Whoa. Holy creepers, Batman. Yeah, anyway, you guys like the shirt, King's Peak shirt here? You can get yourself a shirt. It comes in several different colors and sizes, and you can find it using !merch in the chat. I really need to get a domain name. KingRagnog.store would sound really good, I think. So maybe I need to invest like the $5 that would be. Actually, I'm really curious. Somebody's gonna snipe it now that I said it, but I'm really curious just right now. How much would it cost for me to buy that? No, don't. Okay. Products. Where's the Where's the thing I'm looking for? The domain, there it is. Domain registration, that's what I was King Ragnog .store. If it's $5, whoa. Holy cow, why is it that expensive? Okay, it's not worth me buying right now. I'm really curious. Who owns it? Who owns that domain right now? I don't know. I'll look into some, you know what? My favorite site to actually buy it from would probably be Pork Bun. They actually do pretty much. I found that they're the cheapest domain registrar. Holy cow, yeah, it's very expensive to get .store domains. I see. That is what it is. I could get it for 1 year though for $3. I think I will hold off on that for now. Who's calling me? I don't know. I just hung up. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm getting distracted. We're gonna play the game now. We're gonna play the game. Did you get a chance to listen to Spicy? I'm so sorry, dude. I am so sorry. I feel horrible. I keep telling you I'm gonna listen to him, and then I don't because I'm a terrible person. Like, I could make excuses, and maybe they're valid, but they're just excuses at the end of the day. Like, that doesn't make it any better. I need to, like, get good and do what I say I'm gonna do. That would be really nice. I'm like such a fake like fan as well. I feel really bad. I can't be there for everybody. I know that's like a thing, but it doesn't stop me from trying and feeling bad about not being able to do it. But Gus, like my guy, that man has done like crazy amounts of streams lately. And they're like long streams too. Like I should be able to pop in for like a couple of minutes to say hello. I feel so bad. I've not been there for like most of them. And then you know, he posts shorts. They're like 30-second videos. Surely I can watch a couple of those. I don't. Avid just put out his album. I haven't even listened to it once. I haven't even listened to one of the songs. I feel really bad about that. I'm such a fake fan, guys. I gotta do better. I don't know how to do better, but I will do better eventually. I hope. I really hope. Otherwise, I'm, you know, we're gonna have some slight issues possibly. Also, we're done with the sand, so like I can put that all away for now. Eventually it'll be turned into concrete, and then the concrete can be like turned into buildings, and the buildings will look cool, maybe? I don't know. Hopefully they'll be cool. Alright. What we're gonna start with is we're just gonna flatten out everything. We're just gonna flatten it out to this level for now, I think. And then... Man, I really wish we were going to be playing on the Copper Age update. How close do I have to be? Where's my other beacon? It's down there. Kind of thinking we may move that, because it would be kind of nice to have over here. I don't know. Anyway, start with a flat canvas. It gets us a pretty basic idea of where this is going. And then... Yeah, okay, we need to move that sucker. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. Brain is a little dead. That's okay. That is okay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna come down here. We're gonna just start at the bottom, work our way up. So I'm trying to think. So October is tomorrow, right? That is the first day of October. What do you all got planned for October, if you don't mind me asking? I know I myself don't really do much of anything in October. I'm not much of a Halloween person myself. I know a lot of people love it. I wasn't raised around Halloween. Like, we knew it existed. We just didn't participate, kind of deal. I like candy. We eat candy. That was something we did. My mom would buy the candy right after Halloween so that we could get a copious deal, really. That was always fun. The clearance Halloween is, like, that's where it's at. Get all your candy for, like, $1 a bag. Although gone are the days that you could even dream of buying candy at $1 a bag. I may buy some candy even, who knows? Because I'm almost out. You guys have almost cleaned me out of my candy from my current bag. Full of the really bad candy. So maybe I buy like a new bag of good candy and then I'll be happy. Although like maybe now is a good time for me to mention and ask, really, what is happiness? Like, this is a really deep question and maybe a little bit too deep for the purposes of today. I don't know. But I'm really curious what y'all would classify as true happiness. And I know we've talked about this before, like happiness is just, the meaning of life is to do what makes you happy. But what makes you happy? That is the real question, and I think that might be the question that we're all searching for an answer to, really. And I don't know if I even have an answer to that necessarily. Like, I think I have my own answers, but are they accurate answers? Are they truthful? I don't know. I do not have the means to do what I need to do. So it's a 9x9 at the bottom, right? So it's 3, 5, 7, 9. Yeah. I think I don't know. I don't remember. Beacons are like so confusing to me, and I don't really understand why they're confusing me. Because I mean I've played with them for so long. It's just we didn't have them when I started playing. I distinctly remember playing on like you know, whatever the first version of Minecraft was on Xbox 360. You know, they didn't have the we just had the Ender Dragon, if I remember correctly. So it's hard for me to say like I know exactly how to use beacons, because that's the version of the game that we played for the longest time. My mom and dad didn't let us sign up for Xbox Live, even the free version, just to connect us to the internet, because they thought, well, because it was called Xbox Live, which the other Xbox Live you paid for, Xbox Live Gold. And so my parents were really confused, and they were like, we're not paying a subscription so you guys can play online. Which in their defense, like, I kind of get that. I kind of get why that would be a little bit confusing. I definitely understand now. As somebody who is well advanced in age, all these terms confuse me sometimes. Everyone has their own plus program now, and, you know, there's a whole load of baloney in the naming schemes of some of these things. Like, they're intentionally misleading. I don't know why they didn't just start by calling them Xbox accounts. But they didn't, for whatever reason. Or maybe they did and my parents misunderstood and I've just carried that misinformation with me this entire time. That's another real possibility. Oh, not you. Up. Okay. I haven't finished digging out the area, did I? No, I didn't. Okay, I was like, I'm pretty sure there's, like, still a decent chunk left here to do. And I would be correct. I suppose there's another... This is a more important question than even the question about happiness, I would say. So, we all know comparison is the thief of all joy, right? It's a very common saying, and I would argue for the most part, it is pretty true. There are, like, some small cases where I think it's perfectly acceptable to compare and understand where things are so that you can figure out how to get better. But I don't think it's, like, the ultimate, like, measure of your own happiness. You shouldn't look at what other people have to say if you have enough. That part I agree with in terms of comparison is the thief of all joy. But we do need to compare something right here, right now. Are hot dogs a sandwich? And you might be first going like, okay, this is stupid. But, like, you do have to compare those. Like... in order to have an actual answer, you do need to compare that. And I've never really reached a full conclusion myself, other than the fact that, like, I feel like it needs to be two separate pieces of bread to be considered a sandwich. But then that brings into question a sub. Is a sub a sandwich if it has to be one piece of bread? And of course, like, I have to concede that point then, because it's, you know, it is one piece of bread, the sub is, and it is a sub sandwich. So I would argue that a hot dog has to be a sandwich. And then that, of course, opens up even further debate about other things of that nature, like tacos. And I don't know if I really want to debate on whether or not a taco is a sandwich, other than I could just say no, but then you have to ignore the facts. And the facts are kind of pointing to if a hot dog is a sandwich, therefore a taco probably has to be a sandwich. And then, like, that's not where the weirdness stops, but it's where I'm stopping it, personally. It's a slippery slope with those kinds of questions. Because you think you know, but do you really? Who makes me or you the arbiter of sandwiches and their classifications? Like, that is a whole other question, you know? I feel like you gotta go back to, like... Who even invented sandwiches? The Italians? I feel like the Italians perfected them. So then you gotta go back clear onto them and say, hey, would you guys call this a sandwich? What about calzones? Are calzones sandwiches? Because, like, it's kind of like a taco. And we kind of established tacos are kind of like hot dogs, which are kind of like sandwiches. How far away from something does it have to be before it's not that anymore? Tack, thank you for submitting your taxes. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Tack submitting tax. Tack does not evade his taxes. Tack pays every tax. How much tax could Tack pay in tax if Tack paid taxes? I don't know. There's a tongue twister somewhere in there. I need to put away the things. I mean, I'm assuming you evade your taxes like every upstanding citizen I know. Also, hello, Naomi. Welcome on in on the YouTube side. It's good to see you. I'm not saying I evade my taxes, by the way, guys. I do submit my taxes. It just happens to be that year after year after year, I always somehow end up paying $0 in taxes. Uh-oh. There we go. Monitor loves to hate Minecraft. That's like one of the big reasons I don't want to ever play hardcore, but I'm still debating it anyway. Because, like, what if it did that to me, okay? What if the screen went black on me, like, in the middle of another fortress? I would die. Like, that would be really bad. That would be really, really bad if you guys couldn't tell. Can Tack submit tax before taxes kill Tack? Yes, Tack can submit tax before taxes kill Tack. I don't think anything could kill Tack, you know? The Tack lore goes crazy. I don't know if you guys know, but this man's killed wardens. You're a firefighter, aren't you? For some reason, that's like in my head that you might be a firefighter as well. Which then like begs the question. Like, if you commit tax evasion, then like you're defunding your own job, right? I mean, I'm assuming, I don't know. Some departments aren't necessarily tax paid, I suppose. Although I think grand majority of them are. It just depends on location. This also needs to come down a layer. I don't know. Do I have something else in mind? I'm pretty sure you're the... I don't know. There's a really deep question here now that I'm thinking about it. You. What you got? No. Alright. I'm trying to think also. There's like... Huh. Okay, I do actually have a question for... mostly for the people who are, like, really interested in the game I'm working on. So Omnia, right? I've been looking into the conventions. I've talked about this just, like, a small amount a little. Because it is important to some degree that I do get that all sorted out. We'll put a pin in that. Welcome on in, Raiders. How is it going, Water Ghost? Welcome, welcome. I brought the... Did you bring the Raiders here by chance, Emmy? Welcome in, Raiders. Let me get you some shout-outs, Water Ghost. I need to not type raid. I need to type shout out. Water Ghost. Boop. You guys haven't already, be sure to follow WaterGhost_MC. They were playing some Minecraft. What did you get up to on the Minecraft? I'm gonna go and press the follow button there. Boom. Welcome in random items, Water Ghost. Hello, hello, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Water raid. Let's go. I recognize your name particularly from the SBK community, but especially within King Alfie's community. I do know you just a smidge. How's it going? Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. I'm going to rip up all this. I brought them here. Me? I would never. No, never. It couldn't be you. Couldn't. No, never. Be a crazy assumption to think that. Well, thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate it. And thank you, Emmy, for leaving the suggestion. Always appreciated. I don't share love. No. Love does not come in abundance. So, like, why would anyone ever share love? I force it upon people. Good answer. Solid answer, really. All Emmy's fault. My typing, it's all good. Typing is hard. Words are hard. I can't spell. I'm dyslexic, though, so, like, I feel like I get the pass a little bit there. It's so bad, especially with pen and paper writing. I've noticed my dyslexia is worse there, and it's not because of autocorrect, because, like, I'll turn off autocorrect in some cases just to test it. It's worse on pen and paper. Especially because I can't remember how to write a B versus a D, like a lowercase b or a D. I always write them backwards to what I think they're supposed to be. I don't know if that's a dyslexia thing, but I think it might be. Possibly. I don't know. Somebody else might be able to tell me that. I don't know, in all honesty. I really don't know. Anyway, I need to read. I'm distracted, too. Random items, welcome on in. That's Sarah, yes. Yes, indeed. I'll also catch you guys up to speed on what we're doing here today. Just so you guys can get a little bit of an idea of what we're doing. Welcome, Raiders. All Emmy's fault. I forced on people. Oh, hello. I'm oblivious. Cool. So we're building this huge thing in the middle of the ocean. There's like this big circle that we're digging out. And then we're going to be putting like skyscrapers inside of it. And then we're going to be putting like a big mega dome over top of that. And then it's going to be really cool, right? That's what we're doing today anyway. But we're mainly focusing on digging because that's like the big problem. We've been digging aggressively for months now. And it's finally almost done. So we'll see how that goes. I popped my shoulder. That did not feel good. We'll talk about subluxation. Is that how you say it? I don't know. We'll talk about that in a little bit, because that's like a very interesting topic that I've been really into lately. Basically, that's microdislocations.
Hello there.
Random items, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. How many chunks is the space? It's a really good question. So it's, let's see, 64 that way, 64 that way with a 1 block center point. So it would be 64 plus 64 plus 1. So that's 129 divided by 16. That's 8 times 8. That's a 64.5 chunk area, I think, if I did my math right. Now that includes everything. Like, obviously there are some chunk wastes here. So like there's maybe 3 chunks total and waste on each side, so you could get rid of 12 chunks off of that maybe. 12 minus 4, so 52. You get 52 chunks digging, just about. Now, I mean, I'm not going all the way down to bedrock, because I decided that that's going to be too deep, and I don't have the time for that for the length of the season. We have until basically the end of the year to wrap up this whole project before the season ends. So I have to work really hard because we haven't even placed any blocks to make it look pretty yet. It's all just been about, at this current point, it's all just been about making it big. So now it's like, we gotta actually take it a little seriously and consider what is actually doable and what isn't. Okay. So yeah, for those of you who are interested in Omnia, my video game, I'll tell you guys about my video game here in a little bit. This is like way early, but I do just want to gauge it. Theoretically, I'm going to be going to a lot of conventions and stuff. And they allow me to take helpers. And I know some people wanted to like do, some people wanted to help regional ambassadors and stuff. And so I was kind of thinking, wouldn't it be like really cool to offer that as like a thing? If you guys, some of you wanted to help with that, I could let you guys be helpers, because like some of those conventions let you have up to 6 people. So I could get a lot of people to help me with it, especially if you're in the local area. Obviously, if there aren't people there, I just take some of my friends and family and make them work it with me. But I wanted to throw that out there just like as a possibility for people in like 2 years' time. There may be a budget there where I could actually fly people out to help with it, but I don't know that to be 100% certain yet. It just kind of depends on where we're at with things. But conventions are like a huge part of my marketing strategy, because one, I think they're a lot of fun, and two, the game relies on word of mouth. You guys have seen it in terms of like my streams. If I just showed you the promotional material that I have right now, which admittedly isn't much, but if I just showed you that, it wouldn't look all that interesting. It would look actually like a really bad game. It would look like it's too big. But if you have people talking about it and hyping it up, and people who will actually be able to touch it and play it and then tell their friends to go play it, then it has a lot more hype behind it, and a lot of people are more excited about the game. So I know conventions are like the primary way I'm gonna get people interested in it, and also like agencies like news agencies like IGN, GameSpot. What's the other really big one that I can't think of? There's another one. I just can't think of its name all of a sudden. But, you know, all those kinds of places, the press, you know, they're very, very important to the marketing campaign that I've got planned out. And admittedly, like I said, this is planned out several years in advance, because I don't want to be sitting there going, oh, we need a plan, you know, this game's coming out in, you know, 3 years time or whatever, you know, I don't know. How do we dare even come up with like a way to share this with the world? You know, I want that to be something that's planned out well in advance, because every good AAA game actually does that. There's a reason why we get trailers for games that aren't even halfway finished, and it's because the games team actually focuses on the features that are planned to be used as heavy promotional material. And so they do that first, and then they work on all the side features alongside it. So oftentimes, like, the demo may be, like, some of the first parts of the game, which is why it feels like it's the most polished part of the game in a lot of senses of the word. Or in some cases, it's not the most polished. Like, if Hollow Knight, for example, Hollow Knight Silk Song had a demo, it probably wouldn't be the first portion of the game. In fact, it would probably be, like, it would be a very much enclosed environment, that taught you how to get like your first couple abilities, maybe beat a couple of enemies and fight one boss. But that boss would be reused in the game later on, and that boss fight would probably feel very polished because ultimately that was what got people to buy the game. So that's kind of like one of the big things, is trying to figure out what's my marketing materials, what makes the game so exciting to a lot of people, why am I lagging. Let's cap the frame rate down to like 60. I get a lot of people asking me why I do that. And I do just want to mention it. You guys only see the game at 60 FPS anyway. It won't hurt your guys' viewing experience at all. And also, it makes the game stutter a little bit less because my GPU can run 60 FPS all day, every day on a lot of things. So, it's not that big of a deal to me to not have it running at 144 hertz. My monitor runs that refresh rate anyway. Okay, now we're going to talk about subluxation. I don't think I'm saying that right for some reason, but I might be. So that's called a microdislocation, and it's something that I've suspected I've had for a little bit, because my joints get really sore after doing like really heavy tasks. So for example, moving or putting back together a desk. The way I did it, it was through a lot of brute force, pulling and pushing and shoving and trying to make it work, which isn't great, but I did it anyway. And my shoulders have been popping and crunching a lot more, which isn't a great sign. It's actually a sign of microdislocation, which is a very interesting topic. A lot of people don't know about those because they're not like something that most people can just do. Usually it's like you either dislocated it or you didn't, right? But if you can pop it out and then back in immediately, that's pretty much considered a subluxation. And again, I don't think I'm saying that right. That may not even be a word, but I do know to sublux a joint is a microdislocation. It is a term. I just don't know if the term I'm using is a real term. Anyway, all that said, I can pop my shoulders pretty much in and out. Not on command, but I think I could find it on command if I wanted to. I just know it's not good for me. But the past couple of nights especially, it's been a little rougher. Because I'll lay down, and that's when you feel it the worst, is laying down because there's a little more pressure evenly spread out on your bodies. Like right now where I'm sitting, all the pressure is off of my shoulders pretty much, because I'm sitting on my butt. My elbows are resting on my arm, on the chair arms, so that's fine. You know, I'm largely pretty much just fine the way I am. But when I'm laying down, there's pressure on my shoulders. There's a little more pressure on my back and in my hips and in my knees. And that is where I feel a lot of the pain. And I've been told by a lot of people anyway, and kind of hinted at by my doctor as well, that I have a higher pain threshold, I think is the word they used. Basically, higher pain tolerance. It takes more pain for me to feel pain. If I understand that perfectly correctly. I may not. I'm not a doctor. So when I say like it hurts, apparently that means like it, for me, when it's like a 5 or a 6, for other people it's like an 8 or a 9. And that's not me like trying to like say, oh, I'm super tough and manly. Like, I'm just trying to like give an idea and paint the picture of like what that would feel like, I guess, for other people. because that's boop. It's hard to imagine, I guess. I don't know. It's very hard to imagine. If you tried to have me imagine it before, I wouldn't understand it, because my limited understanding was due to the fact that I was, like, really young. But now that I'm old, I started to do a lot of research on this stuff, and it's starting to make sense. I'll talk about a little bit more of this stuff soon, and I'm also going to keep digging. But I'm going to take a quick break while the ads are going, and I'm going to go pay, because I can. So there. I don't know. Everybody go take a bathroom break, go get some water, eat, drink, do all the things. If you need to head out, please do that as well. Appreciate y'all. I'll see you here in about 2 minutes. Eat, sleep, drink, walk the woofer. Yeah, everybody pees. That's what we do. Everybody pees. I pee, you pee, we pee. Everything else that I'm wanting to say here just doesn't, like, fit the brand of family friendly. So I'm just I'm gonna stop while I'm ahead. I think it's time that we finally remove this. Oh, that's a shadow. I was like, why did I start that line and I didn't finish it? It's just a shadow. We're good. Okay. So this, we gotta decide how far down we want it to go. At the very least, I want it to reach down to this sand, because I just think that would be a good, reasonable spot. But ideally, it could go even deeper than that. We could hit top of that granite right there. That would be an interesting spot. It would definitely give us enough overhead to do some stuff. But if we go all the way down to here, then that's going to take me a longer amount of time. I mean, we're only, what, 2 hours in the stream? That's not too bad. That's not too bad. We've got... We could easily make it 1 or 2 more hours deeper. I'm not going to promise anything because I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. Gotta sweep, 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 sweep. Gotta sweep, sweep. Gotta sweep, sweep. How do you stop at just 3? Gotta sweep, sweep, sweep. Yeah. Hi, Fox. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. I need to sweep. I forgot to do that. So a little backstory. You know, I told you guys my desk broke. Fun times. It's fixed now. But when it broke, it shifted a lot, and so it uncovered like a lot of dust that was really hard to get to, because of the way the legs were set up. So I'm been meaning to sweep it up, and today my dad helped me fix the desk. Like, he gets in here and he's like, "Dude, you need to clean up your desk space." And I'm like, "Well, I was, and I just wanted to get the desk fixed first, because like my whole thing was if the desk broke and we were just gonna get rid of it or whatever, then I would just sweep after we got it out of here, because there was no other reason for me to sweep before that. If like we were gonna get rid of the desk, I was just gonna have to sweep again. I'm all about efficiency, okay, peeps? Like, the way it goes. Have you heard of Baldi's Basics? I have heard of it. I've never actually played it, though. Is it any good? I've never seen anybody play it either. About the extent I know is that one CG5 song. Was it Every Door? Is that what it was called, maybe? I don't know. W-Dad indeed. My dad's awesome. He makes cookies. He's really good at fixing things. He's pretty cool. He's pretty cool. He's also really good at cooking other things than cookies, but the cookies are like the particular favorite, I think. At least in my opinion. Let's see. Question is it fixed properly or Bod's job? We're still figuring that out. I think I can kind of show you guys a little bit here. So, okay. So, for context, guys, my desk is a sitting standing desk, which means it raises and lowers, right? Up, and then like something kind of like this. I'm gonna like build a very sloppy diagram here for you guys. But I think it'll kind of help you visualize just a little bit about what I'm trying to say. Okay. So this is my desk. So these are the legs, right? There's this little motor thing right here. And what that does is it would spin what these blocks are. It's like a little axle. It would spin it so that this leg also goes up. Otherwise, there's this little drive shaft that connects into this leg and it spins and moves it up. Well, this whole rod fell out, which left this leg completely unsupported by anything. And so it dropped down, almost folding my knee the wrong way, down. Would have been bad. It stopped like just an inch, maybe a half an inch away from my kneecaps. Thank God. In that process, the drive shaft from the motor right here, I don't even know if I'm using the right term, but I think it's called a drive shaft. There's like this little, it's almost kind of like an axle, but it's not quite an axle that the axle would connect to on the motor. It popped out, and instead of being over here where it's supposed to be, it actually went out this side. I didn't see that until my dad came in to help me with it. There's also an identical one over here that helps this leg stay stable, and it popped out this side as well. And so then I just had like a random axle in the middle that I've been trying to fix the entire time while these pieces were poking out. And I had no clue they were out. I don't know if that's a fail safe. I don't know why they poked out. I do not understand it. My dad and I, we took a wrench, or a couple of wrenches, and we hit them really hard. Got them to go back into place. The axles are back in place. Theoretically, it should work. At the very least, it is working right now. But we aren't taking too many chances with it, so I'm just not going to move my desk until I'm ready to either get a new one or I'm confident that it's not going to slip and crush my leg. Because I don't know how lucky I'll be next time. But theoretically, it is fixed. It's just like, we don't know why it did what it did in the first place. So we don't know for certain that it's not going to do that again. It's a little scary, but you know, it'll be okay. Probably. More than likely. If I get another desk, what I'm thinking I want is a corner desk. But I haven't decided if I'm willing to pay for a corner desk. Because they're nice. They're really, really nice. But they're a little more pricey than what I'd like. At least for the ones I'm looking at. But it would have enough space for me to really work. Because right now I just have so much stuff that I have nowhere to put it. And over here right now, I basically have a corner desk to some extent. It's just this side is, it's covered in 3D printing stuff. I'd kind of like to move that maybe into another room, possibly. That's a whole other issue, though. Finding space for things is like, it's a pain. I don't know how people do it. Like, the older I get, the more I realize I don't... Like, I'd like to believe, as an adult, I'll be able to, like, find space for everything that I have. But I've seen my parents, and it's like a never-ending collection of stuff. Whether they mean for them to have that much stuff or not, like, the collection grows. And it grows some more. And it grows some more. And I'm over here like, man, I would love to have an office and a bedroom. Not an office bedroom. Not that there's anything wrong with the current setup. It's just, it would be kind of nice to have a space that's separate to where I sleep. I've learned that that's apparently like a really healthy thing for people. Obviously, you work with what you can. I can't change my circumstances I live in right now. So, you work with it. But it doesn't change the fact that sometimes you wish you could have a different circumstance. Try to fill in as much of this as I can right now. There's a lot. Put in the gravel too. Okay, I'll go with this. Oh, and drop the diorite. There we go. There. That's what I'm talking about. Up. Okay. Get a shed / outhouse in the garden and have a stream / gaming setup in there. I've seen pictures and videos, some really cool ones. I definitely like that idea. Like, I can imagine in the future having like a little almost I know like some places, like especially with rich people, they have like a quote-unquote guest house, like a small house, like you said, like a shed almost, out in the back, and it's got like just a few rooms. It's got some plumbing in it as well, so you can use the bathroom, and some of them even have a kitchen in it if you're really fancy. It's basically just a small house. I've seen some people even do stuff like that, and those are really cool. I could see myself doing something of that nature. I get something like that my own. It's my own little space. My wife gets two. She has the house, and she has her own little space as well, because the house isn't enough. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I just know realistically, we both need our own spaces that we can decorate as we see fit. We're not in each other's way. And ultimately, it's not going to bug me or her if the other person decorates it in a way that we don't like, because it's not ours. Or at least that's the theory. That is the theory. Whether that works or not, whole other scenario there. You're married? No. I wish, but not yet. One day that will change. Dude, there is so much more water than what I thought there was. Okay. I do want to try to get at least a couple of layers knocked off here, though. Because if we do, then that'll make it easy to decide how deep we really want to go. Like a summer house? Yes, exactly. Thank you. Nothing too big, but it has the necessities. It's kind of your own space almost. The way I'd probably set it up even is probably like more of a studio, like apartment almost, where you know, it's like a small place to sleep. Not because I'm gonna sleep out there all the time, but just like something small. So if I do a long stream, then like that's an option. Like if I did like a subathon, I would want to sleep near the computer so that I could one, not wake up people in the house with me going back late at night or whatever. But you know, just as an example there, gives me a great option for that. You could do cooking streams from within really easily, because the space is all about bare minimum, pretty much. It'd be kind of cool. I don't know. There is a interesting idea there, that's for sure. I have no clue what I'm doing. Reg's waffle cooking stream. I feel like we would have to do a waffle cooking stream. Like, that would be required. I know one thing I'm really looking forward to in my adult life is, like, either with my future wife or future girlfriend, both, whichever. Not both at the same time. Ideally, the same person, okay? That said, jeez, I worded that so badly at first. But, you know, I would really like to do baking with them. I don't know, that just sounds so fun. And it doesn't have to be like a serious thing of like, we're gonna make the best pastries in the world and we're gonna go sell them, but you know, just making them and eating them, enjoying them. And then sharing them with the family or whatever if we're near family, or just keeping them for ourselves. That's completely valid too. I've always said, and I stand by this, I really do think, the best date you can ever do, and you guys might think I'm weird for this one, but just hear me out, okay? The best date you could ever do is, like a date where you go to the store and, you go buy ingredients for like a pizza and for maybe a dessert of some kind. You go home and you make this pizza with the person that you're dating, because you're gonna learn a lot about them, okay? You're gonna learn their shopping habits. You're gonna learn how they prepare in the kitchen. Keep an eye out. If they don't wash their hands, they're not for you guys. They gotta wash their hands before they cook, okay? I'm sorry. It's a small thing. Very small thing, but it goes a long way. You know, you can really joke around. Food is a great way to bond with people. But going shopping with them especially helps you get an idea of their shopping habits and understanding them better. And I stand by that wholeheartedly. Yeah. I think that's how I would personally go about a date, would be that. Now that's not like first date kind of stuff, okay? Unless like unless you're already friends with this person beforehand, but personally, I don't think if it's your first date with somebody, you should be going to their house or them going to your house necessarily. There's not because of the reasons you might suspect, but if things start going really, really poorly, and it's like, yeah, this is like a nightmare waiting to happen, there's not an easy way out. But if it's like just, you know, you're already well known with each other, you're perfectly okay, you know, I don't think there's any reason why not do that kind of stuff. Reg's waffle cooking stream followed by Reg's dad cookie baking stream. Has my dad ever shown up on stream? I think he's shown up once. Also, thank you for the candy, Mumbo. He's shown up once. It was in the mirror. He was bringing in some laundry for me. And he poked his head in and saw that I was streaming, and then he poked his head back out. It's really funny. Yeah. This is getting really hard to unwrap. Add sign. Okay. Thank you for the candy, Mumbo. Appreciate it. Also, you found space for my Discord server. Thank you. I appreciate it. No. It went down the wrong hole. Nice. We're gonna try. We're gonna try that. I don't know if it's gonna work. Hey King, when was season 1 of King SMP? Season 1 of King SMP was it was September. It was September 3rd? September 3rd, 2021 until December 31st, 2021. I think. I could be a little bit incorrect on those dates, but I think that's accurate. Like I said, I could be a little bit wrong, but that sounds right to me. Okay. Ba-ba-bum. We go deeper here. I may need to start paying people to just come dig. It may be time. I lost Swiftu. He was my free help. I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. I found a screenshot from my basement. Oh, nice. Awesome, dude. That was awesome. Did you find, like, based on that date, I guess? Then you said cool. Then I found a screenshot from season 2, though. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. That's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, season 2 would have been 2022. Pretty much that entire year. And then season 3 was pretty much anything after that. It started at the beginning of 2023. How much you got to dig now? I thought it was all finished last stream. So we finished this quadrant, but we didn't finish everything. This side still hadn't been dug yet. So I haven't quite decided how deep I want it to go. I may just decide by the end of this stream that I'm sick of digging and that's good enough. In which case, you know, I'll just turn on the dome and see like how much room I've got. Because I could always turn this into like a park kind of plaza sort of deal, which would look cool and it would be fine. Alternatively, I could go a little deeper and maybe even hit down here at this level of diorite and say that's deep enough and even put some smaller buildings on there. I'm right now kind of shooting for the bottom of the sand, but I don't know if I'll actually dig that deep today or not. But I'm just kind of waiting to see where I end up tonight. If I get tired of it and I'm like, yeah, I just definitely want to be done digging, then we'll be done. And we'll call that good. One, drop, stone. I have my original Roman walls along with the deep dark I was clearing out. Oh, dude. Did you post them in the Discord? I'd like to go see those at some point. That would be cool. Copper is gonna be so helpful in this build, I think. Okay, I will keep redeeming candies so that you have the energy to dig King. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I mean, we could always just do what I did a Stardew and just pull a 20-hour stream, right? I don't think I have the willpower to do that. I really don't think I have the willpower for that. Would be a funny idea, though. Oh, Oh. Also, there was a guy that popped into our server today. Dead7. XTSL, I think it's their other name. I went back to a VOD today. I was redoing some VOD thumbnails, and I saw their username in chat, and I was like, whoa. That was kind of crazy. Didn't expect to see them both on Discord today. It's been a long time since I saw them, but also on Minecraft server VOD that I was watching. It was kind of cool. Come on. I probably have too much coal in all honesty, but that's okay. There's no such thing as too much coal. Integrate coal blocks into the build. That's kind of what I was thinking. Coal blocks, copper would look pretty good. If I can get some people to maybe even give me some gold, we could probably utilize that in some interesting ways. I don't know. I know those are all very valuable blocks. I don't want the build to just look super flashy for the sake of looking flashy. I do want to use those blocks pretty smartly if I can. But at the same time, you know, ultimately you gotta do what you gotta do. I don't even know how the buildings are gonna look, so. Something on my ear. There it is. It's a hair. I don't know how, but hair, like really, really, really long hairs that I don't even make. It's probably my mom's hair. It gets everywhere. I mean, like, I'll wake up and it's on me. It gets in my clothes when we do our laundry. There's nothing she can do about it. So it is what it is. It's just really funny that it gets into everything. I mean, even in the car, like our seats, you're pulling hair out of it constantly just to like not have it get all over you, I guess. I don't know. My mom's not even home right now. Bum. Ooh, lag. Why is it? You know, it may have to do with like the potential thousands of entities on the ground. I don't know. Can I save the entity count? Not here. Hang on. I don't think I can open up a pie chart with better F3, can I? Doesn't look like it. I've almost never used this mod, and it's because it confuses the heck out of me. Because everything's moved from where I think it should be. I'm used to the other way. Okay, there it is. Renders, entities rendered is on the bottom. There is about 450 entities here, and plenty of particles. Lovely. Oh, hi. Methinks we go to bed. That's what methinks. I put screenshots into the SMP general chat. Alright, let me mosey on over there and see what that is. SMP general. Hey, okay. Wow. Huh. So, the one with the mangrove wood, I'm trying to think, when did we update to 1.19? I guess it would have had to have been through most of the server. Nah, I'm thinking about it, yeah. Yeah, that would make sense. Okay. I was gonna say, I wondered if we updated in the middle of... These are taken in May? Okay, so it would have been near the start. Because Season 2 started in January of 2022. So May would have been... yeah, yeah. Would have been early Season 2. Okay. Boop. And boop, boop, boop. Okay. I am thinking this will be the only layer we dig out for now. I may decide to do more off stream. We don't actually have to technically do any digging. Or finalize any building up here for that matter. For a little while. But I'm just really not feeling the dig. I really want to start working on other things, and it's kind of stressing me out thinking about all the other projects that we definitely have to do. And this one is... This portion of the project is taking way too long, so... If I do this... It'll at least be considered deep enough for now, and then we can go get some glass, and we can always do, like, the first couple of layers of glass. I don't know. When is our next ad playing? I want to make sure I watch out for those. Time it correctly. I need... I'll have to wrap up after we're done with this layer. Okay. I don't want you guys to get stuck with ads, like, right when I'm getting ready to end. Because I feel bad making you guys... Well, I'm not making you do anything, but I feel bad having an ad play right when I'm getting ready to, right when I'm getting ready to, end. I don't know, it feels scummy. Which I know, like, I have no control over the fact that ads play and when they play. To a certain extent. Like, I have some control, but it's very minimal. So I try to take the little bit of control I do have, where I'm like, okay, yeah, if I'm ending now, then I should probably make sure that the ads aren't gonna play, and if they do play, I'll give you 30 extra minutes, or if I don't have, you know, so on and so forth. I don't mind coming to help dig if you'd like. I would appreciate it, however, the server isn't joinable. Otherwise, I would 100% take you up on that. But, sadly, that's just not doable. But I do appreciate the offer. That's very sweet of you. I do like Twitch SMP. I know I've been critical of it at times. But I think some of that's unnecessary criticism. I do like the server. I like the opportunities it's given me. But I've realized it's really not for me in a sense. I'm trying to find the right way to phrase this, because I don't want to, like, offend anybody. Because that isn't the intent of what I'm saying. Huh. How do you say this? Okay, so this server, I feel like it wants to be taken super, super seriously. In the sense that, like, it's a, you know, super serious content creator server. But it doesn't have the backing of super serious, I don't want to say management or player base, because I do think there's a very dedicated portion of streamers who play on the server. Obviously, we had like 6 or 7 people online earlier today, and we've got 3 on right now. We're 6 months into the season, so, like, you know, there is a lot of people that do still play and that do take it seriously. But I've realized I'm looking for something a little different in terms of goals, you know? This server's goal is to just chill and have some fun, and that's cool. But my goal is a little bit beyond that when it comes to the content and streaming even. Now I do love Twitch SMP, that's for sure, and I think everybody on it is fantastic. I think the owner is fantastic. I just know that this isn't really where I belong, and that's okay. At least that's how I feel right now. Now maybe my mind will change. I don't know. But I am a little doubtful that my mind will change, at least in the near future, on this. Hello, Emmanuel. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. It's good to see you. Let me go ahead and read up on chat. Someone finally recognized how big of a streamer King was, so he got invited to the show server. That's crazy. So it wasn't quite an invite. I did get a quote-unquote invite from one of my friends who is a part of the server. Kit kind of asked me to apply. I joked about applying. I was kind of like, yeah, you know, maybe I will. And she was like, oh, you should. It would be fun. It would be nice to have some people to play on the server with. But she doesn't really have time to play anymore. A lot of her time is eaten up by Skyblock Kingdoms and by Hardcore and Tricks SMP. She's got a lot of series to maintain. So it's just hard for her to be able to dedicate as much time as she would like to be able to play other things like Twitch SMP. So, you know, she's not here. I've got a couple of other friends who are on the server, but they were even debating if they wanted to join for this season because they have a lot of other projects they want to pursue. So, you know, a lot of my friends aren't going to be here next season anyway. So, like, that's kind of, like, another part of it, I suppose. You know, it would be a lot harder for me to justify leaving if I had made a ton of friends here. I've made some friends, and I've definitely not made any enemies. They're all lovely people here, but it is difficult to justify the amount of time I play on it, that's for sure. But I did apply, and I got accepted. I don't know why I got accepted, in all honesty, but I did. I mean, a temporary one-day pass just to dig. I wish. Like what you did, what you and Pink did with SBK. Thankfully, with SBK, that one worked out well because of it being for charity. But the owner isn't even online for me to ask. She's in Australia, so it's a 14-hour time difference. So right now it's 9:30, 10:30, 11:30. It's like 11:30 right over there, 11:30 a.m. So she's at work, I believe. I think. And will be for a little bit. But I do appreciate the thought. Probably hacking. That's probably true. Been here in a while. How long was I stuck here editing? You were editing for a very long time. How's it going, Jorby? It's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hello. It's a different story, that's true. You're looking for a girlfriend? How'd you know? That's exactly why I'm joining every single SMP. Yeah. Definitely. No. That would be an interesting way to meet somebody. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time somebody has met their partner that way. That's for sure. That would be a weird one, though, for me. That's for sure. Even for my life. I don't know. Let's see. Is your mega build going to be the biggest? I don't know who has the biggest build right now. Mine is quite possibly going to be the biggest, but I don't know that for a fact. In terms of solid structure, I think mine is the largest just because it is all in one piece there. But I don't know for certain. Here's your hydrate. You've been looking for a girlfriend since April 2022, as far as I know. A little bit longer than that, probably since 2020. That's when I realized, well, it's even been longer than that. I'm very, very picky about who I choose, guys. And you should be. You shouldn't settle for less. Because you're just asking for a lot of issues down the line, to some extent. You know, you should be able to agree on some big things, otherwise those big things will kill your relationship. It's not good. That all said, you know, I'm very, very, very particular about who I would even consider asking out. And then you just gotta hope that they like you back. That's the hard part. That is the really hard part. I'm just gonna put it in there. But probably longer than that even. I knew what I wanted pretty much around the time I was 14, probably. I knew kind of what I was looking for in a partner, and of course, like, that's changed over the years to some extent. But, like, the vast majority of that stuff is still true today. Like, you know, I'm not... I haven't really changed my opinions on a lot of that. In 7 years. Jeez. Let's do, I think it's been at least a month since I've been here. I've gotten 2 whole videos done since I've stopped by. Sorry about that, by the way. No worries, dude. You're all good. You gotta do what you gotta do. I'm glad that you got some videos done, though. That's awesome. I've been struggling to get some videos done myself. I know I need to. Because I'm trying to get ahead so that there's videos every week. But it's getting a little tough. It's getting a little tough to get those going. So, we'll see. So let's just see how this would look with the dome over top of it. So I could easily put like a park back here, which would be good. And then maybe we could even do like a couple of smaller buildings over here. Or I could do a smaller building right there and then a couple of parks. I don't know. We'll figure that out when we get there, I think. But the rest of these layers can definitely have some buildings within them. I don't know. I do not know. Nothing to kill in your case, though. What? Wait, what? I don't know what that was in reference to. I'm sorry. I'm seriously invested in PvP SMP content right now. That's awesome. I'm glad that you found something that you're, like, really interested in. That makes it easy to make videos, especially. Bi-weekly is also a good king. It is. It is. I know. I've been thinking... I don't know if I'll do it or not. But I really need to get on the video train. Because, like I said, I've determined that stream SMPs probably aren't for me. What I mean by that is this. Streaming focused SMPs aren't for me. Twitch SMP is built for streamers. There are some people who did a couple of videos, but they weren't like full on, you know, series or anything. I really want to explore the YouTube side a lot more. And I also, I know I'm not looking for like a specific family-friendly SMP either, but I would like to be on a server that's a little more family-friendly, welcoming, I suppose is the word there. They're very welcoming here on Twitch SMP, but it's hard to do... How do I say this? It's hard to do, like, let's say, if I wanted to do a prank, for example, I wanted to go and mess with somebody and listen in while they're talking. I've got no guarantee of what they're gonna say. Now, that's true on a lot of other SMPs. You know, not every SMP is gonna be family friendly, and I don't expect everybody to be family friendly on every SMP. I think ultimately you take the best creators and you make what you can out of that. But there's only like 2 other family friendly creators on Twitch SMP, one of which is active, the other one isn't. As far as I'm aware, I could be incorrect on that. So that's part of it. So interaction is a little bit down there. I don't really know anybody well enough to just go out and ask people, hey, you want to go do this? Do you want to go do that? With the size that this SMP is, like, we've got a lot of members. It's kind of hard because everybody has already got a couple of people that they talk to and that they've got they've got their own groups. Admittedly, I started this season pretty poorly in my own fault. You know, I went off and did my own thing. But the next couple of weeks after that, I met people, but then they all left. So I was one of the last people left in that wave, unfortunately. Which, you know, it happens. That's bound to happen eventually. But I didn't go out of my way to go meet and collab with other people, so I largely became a hermit, basically, doing my own thing. I would really like something a little smaller in scale, because there's less people to try to go meet, and you can try to meet everybody. The thought of trying to meet every single member of the server right now is daunting, because there's so many people, and I'm going to get confused. So something smaller, you know, 16, maybe 20 people at most. That's kind of what I would aim for a different SMP if I join one. I don't know. I've learned a lot, and I think Twitch SMP is great if it's what you're looking for. But I've realized since then I'm looking for something a little different. You know, I love building bases. You know, there's plenty of bases here on Twitch SMP, but there's not like, say, there's not a ton of bases my scale necessarily. There's a lot of people that build bases, and there's a lot of people that build cool bases. But I was kind of looking forward to having people that built bases like this, for example, you know. Mega builds aren't super popular on Twitch SMP, and that's fine. I don't expect the culture to change to me. I'm very much a believer in, if you don't like something, go find somewhere that's like what you want it to be, not change the place that you're entering to be what you want it to be. So I'm not gonna kick and scream that this isn't what I want, because ultimately that doesn't necessarily matter. At least not right now, you know. Now, if at the end of the server I get asked, you know, by the owner, Dash, if she asks, you know, for feedback, I'll happily give it. And explain my reasonings, but I don't expect the server to change for me. That was something that kind of happened from my understanding early on into the season. There were some people that thought they could have the server change for them. I don't know the full scenario there, and I'm not here to spread drama. But it basically came down to that, you know, the server's not going to change to be what you want it to be. It's going to be what it is. And you can go make your own servers to fulfill what you want it to be. And that's perfectly acceptable. That's fine. I think that's respectable, in all honesty. Anyway, all that said, I love Twitch SMP. I love the people on it. I just know for what my goals are, Twitch SMP doesn't make sense. There we go. I'm just waiting for my thumbnail guy because before I can post the second vid. And I think about it, I think it'd be nice to just start a peaceful SMP of my own, you know, public bases, farms, goals, events, stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely, dude. That's really what King SMP was all about for me. And it's why I miss it, but I also don't miss it to some degree because I've been able to get so much more work done without King SMP being at the forefront of everything I'm trying to do. It's been really nice to just sit back and relax. Can I recommend something in SMP that I and a few friends of mine that participated in? It's got a good system for viewers participating in the server as well. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a ton of content like that necessarily. I do like the concept of playing with you guys a little bit more. And I do want to do that again soon. I know it's been a while. But what I'm really looking for in a server right now in SMP is really serious content creators. Because that's who I need to surround myself with. I need to be around people who are trying similar routes to what I'm trying. Because I need to make it, quote unquote, you know. I want to bring my content to the next level. I want to become a little better than I was yesterday. So a lot of servers that feature viewer joinable content tend to not be serious enough for me there. You know, I don't expect like a high pressure atmosphere where it's like you must log on every week and make videos every month. You know, I don't expect that necessarily, but I'm looking for something that is going to help me more than it hinders me. And I don't like saying that because that makes it sound bad. There is nothing about Twitch SMP that actually hinders me except for my own schedule that I told myself I'd follow. You know, I told myself and I told the application team for Twitch SMP that I'd likely be playing 2 days a week every week. And I've mostly held up that end of the deal. There have been some weeks where I haven't played 2 times a week, and ultimately they'd understand if I changed it, but at this point it's about finishing my base now. I want to finish my base, and so I will. The large issue, though, is that you know, it's not pushing me to be any better necessarily. There's a lot of different play styles on the SMP, and I love that. That's awesome. but I'm not necessarily motivated to get better in any of those aspects. I feel like there's not many people who are into videos either, and that's like one thing I really need to get better at. So I'm looking for people who want to, you know, be successful YouTubers. Successful is like very, very subjective. But, you know, I'm looking for people who are like-minded in the fact that they want to actually get some results, you know? There's nothing wrong with doing YouTube just for fun, and I think you should do it for fun, no matter what. But, for me, part of the fun as well is also getting a little bit of results on top of that. That adds to the fun. I still have fun without getting results, but part of it is like engineering it a little bit so that you get even better results, and then it amplifies your fun. That's what I really want. Ads are starting apparently, and there's no good way for me to disable them. Shoot. Well, I can't end in time. Okay, you guys are getting a little bit more content out of me apparently. We're gonna go place some blocks. Okay. Okay. Alright, then they'll be too laid back for you. Actually, they do have a log on every week requirement. Really? Dang. Yeah, I don't want it to be stressful, but I do want, like, I guess the term would be... it would be like... I don't know, I want to feel like I need to be active because I want to be there. I don't know. It's hard to say exactly what I'm thinking, I guess. Bum. Alright. Remember when I said I had an organized stream schedule now? Where'd that go down the drain? That's where editing in sacred SMP, baby. That's my entire schedule. Love that for you, dude. Love that. My schedule's been a little bit messed up lately. I love having Wednesdays off. I will say that. Taking Wednesdays off was probably the best choice I could have made for myself and for the content. I do miss playing other games occasionally on stream, but I think overall it may have been the best choice that I made, really. So I'm happy with that choice, regardless. But I do know, for me, like, that time was intended to be used to make videos. And instead of making videos, I've been working on my video game, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with working on the video game. It's just, you know, that's not the original intent there. So I do kind of have to kind of reconcile that a little bit. Here's your hydrate mumbo, thank you. Soulcrafters SMP, if you are ever interested, even just if passing look. I'll check it out sometime, probably, maybe, hopefully, if I remember. Appreciate that. Feel obligated to shout them out because they helped me reconnect with a few streamers. That's awesome, dude. That is awesome. Yeah, I don't know. I like streaming. I love streaming. No secret that I love that. That's where my passion really is. It's not video making, but it is streaming. But to do streaming well, it helps to have some videos in the pocket as well. So ultimately, I will stream. That all said, it would be really... It's really nice to have that community to some extent. And, I don't know, I have a little bit of one here on Twitch SMP, but the video side of things, it's kind of like I'm really seeking out that kind of community. Because I don't have anybody to collab with on YouTube exactly in ways that make sense. Because I like to know people before I collab, and then I want to do a video that would make sense for the both of us to do together. And so that's like one thing that I really struggle with is finding those kinds of opportunities. So having people that are already into doing YouTube to then collab with is where it's at for me personally. I need to rip out all of this. Hello, MemesXD. There is no IP to this server because this is a private server. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. W ads get dodged. Saw them playing. Appreciate that. Thank you. W ads back. The bit about viewer interaction is some weird thing called souls where the joining viewer gets put in adventure mode and upon death is kicked. Interesting. That is a pretty cool mechanic though. That is interesting. It's at least not intrusive. You know, that is one of my big concerns in a lot of these kinds of servers where viewers can join. Is like, how intrusive are they gonna be? Are they gonna be able to be very annoying? Like, you know, you don't want to annoy your content creators by allowing viewers to join and then them going around fangirling the entire time. Just get it all off of the glass at the very least. That'll be good. Okay. There we go. I'll make sure I'm all caught up. The bit about... Oh yeah, I read that. I plugged my Twitch in my work in progress video and only just realized I barely stream. It's fine. You'll start streaming more after a while, I'm sure. I struggle with plugging things in my videos. I don't know how many of you guys watch any of my stuff, but I'm always awkward about it. I never know what to say or what to say about, you know. Okay, my editing skill totally doesn't. Totally not. No, no, it's all good. Editing it takes a lot of time, but you'll get there. I try. I believe in you. It'll take some time, but you'll get really good. You'll develop your style before long, really. The worst part about editing is just finding that style. Once you find your style, it's really easy to edit because it's your own process. It's when you're trying to duplicate other people's styles and processes that it takes a long time to get through it, and you get bored and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that, no. I'm not saying that. Bum bum. I want to veto this. I also want to say, okay. That's crazy. My own brother betraying me. Gonna turn that off for a second. Let my Fulbright take over. Let's see, I'm totally not gonna ask for your opinion on my video later. No. No, never. Could never happen. I definitely, that's another reason why I need people on an SMP that, like, does videos and such. Because I can use that to help me get better at my editing, get better at my storytelling, my video, whatever in my videos, you know. They can say, hey, the music is a little bit too loud in this part. Because you can trust people usually who are in creator SMPs, because everything you do does affect them to some degree. If your videos are doing well, then their videos are more likely to do well, especially if you're doing the SMP correctly. So you want everybody in your SMP to do well, at least to some degree. It's crazy. I'm always gonna read your guys' message before saying it at this point. Sometimes I don't read before saying it, and I'm like, lovely. But most of the time, I usually do read it first, because I don't trust you guys. I know better than to trust. I'm hungry. I don't know why I'm so hungry all of a sudden, but I am. Bum bum. Hi, hungry, I'm Admiral. Hi, hungry, I'm Jorby. Crazy work there. I got double whammied, man. And you get more advice from people who aren't like Biku, who's sarcastic all the time. Of course he friggin' is. You know, fair enough. I usually get people that glaze me the entire time. And it's not that I don't appreciate that people are willing to do that. It's just, I really do need some people who are going to be fully honest. And this is where you get people like, oh, I am fully honest. Your videos are just that good. Stop glazing, okay? There is definitely room for improvement. And, you know, I appreciate the people who don't want to hurt my feelings or what have you. But, like, by all means, please, hurt my feelings. I asked for the advice. I need it. But that's true about a lot of things. Like I've told you guys about the King SMP survey. I read that out. I read that out to you guys. All y'all are so dishonest. That all said, I do appreciate some of that feedback was very helpful. Some of it was like, okay, pick out the bones, eat the meat kind of deal. But, you know, at the end of the, you know, I do know who I can go to for reliable information and who I go to if I really just need somebody to glaze me a little bit, because it's all there. I just realized the bigger you smile, the more your head takes the shape of a brick. Thank you, Admiral, for the, I think, constructive criticism. I don't even know if that's constructive. That's not even criticism. That's just a statement. That's just a statement. Actually, no. Big shot. Dun 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 dun. Yes, can't see a big shot. Crazy. Crazy. May all yes men burn. I'm at level 100 dad joke boss. I'm totally honest, you're so cool and awesome and amazing, and incredible. Constructive criticism is a good thing. Yes. Yes, if you are willing to, like, tell me, like, hey, it was good, but there's this, this, and this, that's helpful. Saying, like, hey, this sucks, that's not helpful. Saying, oh yeah, it was perfect, that's still not helpful, because we all know there's always room for improvement. And just saying it straight up sucks doesn't provide any valuable insights. That's just, like, super unhelpful. And that burden does fall on a creator at times, just to be clear, to find the constructive criticism within somebody's comments. Like, if they say, hey, this sucked, and then it didn't really make sense why they were saying that, trying to fish out some information, like, okay, why did it suck? Well, you know, it could be based on the topic. If they said it in specific about this one thing, about the way you phrased it, or what have you, then you kind of look into it a little bit more and investigate it and figure out why they thought it sucked. That does help as well. Anyway, but I'm honest, trust, not lying, and I'm not one of them. Trust, totally. If it helps you guys at all, I suck at constructive criticism sometimes too. I try my best not to glaze, but I do struggle to find nice ways to say what I'm trying to say. When in reality, when somebody asks me for advice, I'm more apt to just do it for them. Somebody asked me for advice on their thumbnails once. I was like, send me that thumbnail really quick. And then I just did it for them, and I was like, this looks a little bit better. There you go. And then I told them what I did to fix it, but I found it easier to do that than to have a whole dialogue of what looked off to me so that they could fix it later. I was just like, no, we'll fix it now. I need to get a screenshot of the hole being as it is dug out now. Do that, and then I need to turn off that. Or maybe one from the bottom. And then maybe one from, like, over here as well. A couple of angles. There we go. Dash has been asking for screenshots and such, so I need to make sure I do my part and get some screenshots so that it can be posted and all that. Boom. I just realized the bigger smile. Not even related to the topic, just something I noticed. Okay, good to know. I put money on him being the better looking brother. I wish all the women want me and it impedes my social life. That's not true. That is just simply not true. We're actually mistaken for twins a lot. Like, if you guys want to know what Admiral looks like, just imagine me. And I wish I was mostly joking about that, but I don't think I am. He actually doesn't look just like me, but we do get mistaken for twins a ton. But I don't personally see it a bunch. Bum bum. Delta nerd. Anytime anyone asks me for help, I just do it for them because I don't want to explain it. Yeah, you just explained to me, Coral. You just explained to me. Now, when it comes to, like, kids, I actually do take the time to explain stuff to them. But if it's just, like, somebody that, that's just looking for honest help, usually I'll just go, okay, I'll do it for you. Especially if I understand their situation a little bit more. Some people I help just because, like, I know that they don't have the time to keep doing revisions and such. So I'll say, okay, send me the files, you go do the other thing, and I'll do this for you, and then I'll tell you what I did so that you can replicate that for your next go around at it. And usually that works out pretty okay. Up, 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 up. My brain cooked up 5 sentences in a row that would get me quoted. Oh, I'm sure. That's... Eesh. I know that's a quote from Spider-Man, Spider-Man 3 video game Admiral, but that probably could have been quoted too, even. A younger version or older version, younger, but I have facial hair that makes me look older than them. Yeah, right now, especially since I just shaved like a couple days ago. Maybe it was yesterday. I don't even know when I shaved. I forgot. But since I just shaved recently, and he doesn't really ever shave. He does, he just doesn't do it often. He'll definitely look a little older than me because of that. But if we both shaved, he'd look like really young compared to me, I think. Because the bags under my eyes are getting pretty big. I looked in the mirror the other day and I could just see the wrinkles starting to form, and I was like, ah, oh, I've become old. I'm old Gandalf. I love the sound of glass, dude. This isn't default glass sounds, I don't think. I think this is from the sounds mod. But it sounds so good, oh my goodness. Anyway, I'm trying to shave once a month now, but it has been once a quarter recently. That's fair. It's okay. November is coming, and then you can do no shave November. It'll be okay. Jorby, thank you for your taxes. I appreciate it, dude. I don't believe in no shave November. What do you mean you don't believe in no shave November? Like, what does that even mean? Like, you don't believe it exists? You don't subscribe to it? Like, I want to understand what you mean by that. It's only worth doing it if you're raising money for charity. That's true, yes. That is true. It's just always a good excuse if you're wanting to be lazy and not shave. That's the best way to do it. Just say, oh yeah, it's no shave November. I'm raising awareness for men's health. I think that's what we do for no shave November, right? It used to be that was why we did it. I don't know if that's still what they do. I don't know. There's been more other November festivities is the word I'm gonna choose to use there, that have taken priority over men's health anyway. So, you know, that's a thing. Tech General in King's Castle? Okay, I might do No Shave November this year if you and other brother do it and do it the right way. I'm pretty sure... Wait, what? Is that you? Wait, hold on. Hold up. Hold up. Jorby. That's you? W. Jorby face reveal, let's go. That is a face reveal, right? I'm not like completely and totally misremembering. You were faceless before, right? Right? I think. Ouch. Hey, okay. Let me show it on screen, I darest thou. Probably not, just because that does take a little bit of setup. I don't have my browser sources set for that. But if anyone wants to go see, you can go check out the Discord, !Discord for the info on that. Ouch. Also, I do need to check, when are the next ad sets playing? Because I started building this just to avoid ending right after ads. Okay, we need to sleep. Oh my gosh. Oh. This guy's 22. I don't even know why you thought that. Don't even know why you thought that, to be honest. It's really funny, though. When are the next set of ads playing? Okay. We'll wrap up this layer, though, then, and we'll call it. I know how long my outro monologues usually take, so, like, we'll have ample amount of time for that, hopefully. Honestly, we're doing pretty good. Like, I thought this dome was gonna take me a long time, but we're already several layers up. I don't know how many layers it is, but we're not doing too shabby, that's for sure. How about you? I'm feeling 22. 22. Shabby. Shabby. Screenshot from a VOD from like March or something. Oh, I did not know you face revealed. My bad. My bad, Chief. I don't know how I missed that. It's revealed for like since like 2023. Dang. I literally have never seen your face until now. That's crazy to me. I don't know how I missed that. I don't know. This is news to me, dude. This is news to me. Oh, time travel. Time travel. Well, we're playing the dang block game, I guess. We're getting ready to wrap up things, though. Okay. So, we made it pretty far, really. Considering it's only gonna get smaller from here, like, we'll probably finish the dome in the next. I don't want to say we're gonna finish it, but we're gonna get a large portion of the dome done. Hopefully by the end of next stream. I may decide that I want to change up some things about the inside. We may go, hey, you know what, I do want to dig more of this layer. I don't know if we will, though. Probably not. But yeah, I think overall I'm really happy with how this build is turning out. Gonna turn the placement off. We've gotten a good amount of work done so far. We're starting to place the glass. We've got all the hole mostly dug out as well, which looks really, really good. I think, in my opinion, it looks good anyway. You guys can probably hardly see it due to the static of everything, but it's looking good, I think, in my opinion. Actively in the shirt and screenshot, that's awesome, dude. That's funny. Can we time travel back to the beginning of the stream so I get first redemption? I was beginning, I was out, I still win. Feel that? I wasn't able to show up to any of last week. The competition's getting fierce, guys. It's getting fierce. Okay. We're gonna start wrapping up things, so I appreciate y'all for being around. I am gonna try to find us somebody to raid, so please sit tight. Particularly looking for somebody that we have watched at least at some point in the past. Who are you? I don't know. Okay. Let's. You guys want to watch Minecraft? Or do you want to watch Legends of Zelda? I'll let you guys take your pick there. Employed, yeah. It does suck. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Okay. I'm going neither. Now that's the result that I did not expect. That is the result I did not expect. I'd be down for Legends of Zelda. Okay. We rated them like I think last week, but I think it's just as easy to go say hello to them again. We're gonna go say hi to the MIG. They are playing Legends of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. They are going to be online for another hour and a half or so. So I think you guys will probably have some fun over there. It looks interesting. They're playing Tears of the Kingdom on Switch too. So it looks like, oh wow, that is pretty. That looks a lot better than what I thought it would. Okay, anyway, hop in, get some free champ points, make a cool stream along the way. For you YouTube peeps, we're wrapping up the stream here. You won't be headed anywhere. So go watch whatever's next on your recommended. But I appreciate y'all for watching. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, everybody. We'll see you Thursday. Bye-bye.